JoJo's Part 3 is probably the best JoJo's part out of all of them. Now, what I like about it, besides a lot of other things, in simple terms, is that you don't actually have to watch the first two parts to see this. Like, if you had to watch just one, you could just watch Part 3 and skip the first two. Obviously, the first two are some of the best, but you don't actually have to watch those. It just sort of adds to the experience, which I like. And I'll say this many times, but if you could only watch one JoJo's part and then never touch the series again, just watch Part 3, since you don't have to watch the first two and you don't have to watch the next three that come after that, even though I really do like Part 4. Along with that, it also has some of the best Jo Bros, I think, along with Capuine and Polnareff. Now, don't get me wrong, Speedwagon is the Jo Bro at heart, but these two really do help the series quite a bit. I think they're just kind of random side characters, and I don't really like Avdol. Don't hate me. It's not because he's black, it's because he's boring. And even though this part is the longest by, I think, 20-ish episodes, it still has some of the greatest side moments and what feel like fillers but are probably canon in some point, along with also having some of the biggest plot holes and just random things that would absolutely destroy the story if you thought too hard about them. There's dozens of videos on YouTube about it, and I'm sure I'm not going to go into them because honestly, I don't care. I just love this part too much. This part also introduces stands, which would basically defy the JoJo genre as a whole. Now, Harmon's cool, don't get me wrong, but stands just take it to a whole nother level. It's a completely new concept, and I really like the idea of stands. It's very cool having basically ghosts fight each other with crazy abilities. I think it's awesome, and I love the way it's animated in most cases, with the exception of that one fight we'll never talk about. And even though technically, yes, they did get a little bit lazy when they just reused Dio as a villain, and the whole ending thing with having the same stand, kind of cheap, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that could explain it, and maybe I just didn't understand it that well, but to me, it felt a little bit random and forced, but I still loved it as a whole. It was very emotional seeing some of the characters die. It was a ton of fun watching. And again, even though it is the longest by a little bit, it has some of the worst, just random characters. I'm looking at you, brothers. The part also does have some of the best openings and closings, I think. I mean, not that that really matters because that doesn't make a good TV show, but regardless, I think it's just worth pointing out. It's also worth pointing out that most JoJo's sidecasts are always better than most modern anime ones. Like, come on, My Hero, do better. Develop these characters even a little bit. Make me care about them. In JoJo's, everything they do makes you feel for them. Even when they die and you know they're going to come back, you still get scared because that's how much you care about them. Everybody in the JoJo's sidecast you care about, and that goes for all the parts, not just Stardust Crusaders. And yes, like I said before, even though this part spun off so many other little random bits that turned into such big plot holes in other series, such as Giorno and that one assassin from Stone Ocean and Pucci, I really do think that this as a whole definitely is the one thing that should represent JoJo's. Even without all that random just garbage thrown in there, I had a ton of fun with all these just random stand users going to stop them traveling the globe to save JoJo's mom. I really did love this part as a whole, and I think it's probably one of the best pieces of anime out there, and I think it carries the JoJo's as a whole. I'm mainly making this video for you know who you are. Just watch the show already, bro. Me and Dan are waiting for you. But I really do think that like JoJo's as a whole is worth checking out, and if anything, just start with this. Like I said, I really do love Part 4. It's easily my second favorite. And with the first two before them having some of the greatest casts of all time, this one has slightly better characters with slightly better fights. Along with that, it's just truly an emotional experience hearing Last Train Home on one of the last episodes. It really does tie the show together, and I could not recommend this show more. And that's about it. See ya.